Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and what you're about to watch is one of those second premium hours that has now been unlocked. And if you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on Rockfin, you're going to get the full 42 minutes. Operation Warp Speed, a mission to Mars, Bill Gates, Epstein, and the Clune, George Clooney, shilling while virtue signaling. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, sorry, some of those are too hot to handle. Can't put them out there. But if you do enjoy the broadcast and you do want to support it, come on over. Red Voice Media is expanding. RVM is becoming one of the most formidable networks out there in alternative media. You want to come over to redvoicemedia.com/Jason, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored, sign up, $10 a month, or lock it in for the year. That's how you really support the broadcast. You say, I'm going to put down $100, I'm going to save 20, but I'm going to support Reality Rants with Jason Bermas. So here you go. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and hopefully I'll see you over at RVM. We are rocking and rolling. I'm going to let Dennis continue to speak here about Mars and saving the planet from asteroids and space hardening humans. Dun, dun, dun.
Mars will probably be colonized. Mars can be colonized now, as I'll indicate. We're working on biological countermeasures to reduce the health effects, particularly for radiation, and we're making some progress on this. There's no reason why, with the bio business and some time on Mars, humans couldn't evolve into Martians, the ones that survive.
Oh, there it is right there. Directed evolution. You know, with the new biomarket, we'll be able to genomically create, these species that are kind of humans. And the ones that survive, there's no reason that we can't mutate and evolve to live on the red planet.
But the return to Earth would be TBD. The cartoons of astronauts in wholly radiation ineffective spacesuits wandering around outside playing golf and other things and living in thin surface habs that are not radiation protective are just not accurate. You've all seen the cartoons on this stuff. All right, making Mars the Walmart for the inner solar system. We could colonize Mars, Moon, the upper surface of Venus, the upper atmosphere of Venus, and the poles of Mercury, along with Titan, which is a moon of Saturn and has an absolutely magnificent, thick hydrocarbon atmosphere. The supplies, equipage, finished products, and resources to do all of this are essentially available by in situ resource utilization on Mars and could be produced pre-human arrival by autonomous robotics and printing, where the coffee is perking before the humans leave Earth.
So once again, what do I keep telling you? Over and over and over and over again, it's the nanobots. They're the ones that are going there. And then there's these promises that we're going to the moon and we're going to colonize Mars, and Mars is going to be the Walmart of the solar system. We're going to be on the moons of Venus. After we genomically change the species and the ones that survive. They're projecting this as though this is like near future, and the public has been so prepped through Hollywood propaganda. A lot of people buy into the Johnny nonsense.
Mars has huge amounts of water in ice lakes, the size of Lake Huron and twice as deep. There's ice in the regolith, you just microwave it, and a lot of ice chemically bound, a lot of water chemically bound. Enough, as I said last night, to put a very deep ocean on the whole bloody planet. From the atmosphere, you cool the surface, you precipitate out CO2, so you have H, O, and C, which means you not only have all the fuels you want, methane and hydrogen oxygen.
You mean that evil methane that we need to take care of here on Earth? Methane. Oh my goodness. Did you talk about CO2? Don't we need to become carbon neutral? Aren't we? Don't we have to get to net zero, Dennis? I mean, you're a big advocate for that here on the planet, but somewhere else, no, it's going to be totally different. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
But all the plastics that you want, and we can now make just about anything the humans would need, whether it's rovers, whether it's furniture, whether it's anything, okay, from, plastics. And the atmosphere actually has some nitrogen in it for breathing. There's at least 20 minerals in the Martian regolith, including a lot of magnesium. And so we can use magnesium CO2 rockets for transportation. The Martian topography is not thought to be conducive to on-surface transport to any appreciable distance. The energy we'll use is either terrestrial or space, solar, and also fission nukes. There's excellent ongoing synbio research for biomining, biofood, biomaterials, bioplastics, and composites, and this is advancing very well. So we term all of this ISRU, in situ resource utilization, and we have, since we've worked this seriously since 14, changed within the agency, NASA ISRU, from a hobby shop into Earth independence. Yes, we can do it.
Earth independence. Yes, we can do it. Dennis the salesman.
Okay. And the resources and techs to do this are essentially there. It's becoming both more affordable and safer as we go through this Martian colonization.
Martian colonization. Dennis Bushnell. There he is, folks. The Washington Post makes editorial decision to give Bill Gates to play expert on public health, and the Post asks me to pay subscribe to read the Gates op-ed. One of those weird moments that makes modern media feel so unmoored, and basically, you can find it. The Wayback Machine has the vast majority of it, and it's all about AIDS and HIV vaccines. Yay! Now, recently, I've been watching clips of a film called House of Numbers, which I watched years and years and years and years and years ago. It was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is. Great documentary. And basically, it opened my eyes to the fact that HIV is considered a slew of different things in a slew of different countries. And in certain countries, it actually matters how you answer a questionnaire as to whether you have HIV and AIDS. That's a problem. And the clips I was watching was of Carrie Mullis, who is no longer alive, and I believe died in January of 2020, just as the COVID 1984 nightmare was starting to break out. And a lot of people talk about Mullis because he's the inventor of the PCR test. He was a huge critic of Fauci. But in this one in particular, he is talking about HIV and its isolation and whether or not HIV itself causes AIDS. Like, what is the scientific paper where I can point to this? And he actually talks about Dr. Luc Montagnier, who recently passed away, but was the person who was going around talking about the fact that they had found elements of HIV, a certain protein, and the ACE3 receptor in the furin cleavage site, and it was clearly there, and this showed him that this was an engineered virus. And basically, he said that Montagnier, on I think 2 different occasions, was unable to provide him with the scientific data that said HIV causes AIDS. Big problem. So then you ask yourself, well, what role is misdiagnosis playing in that quote-unquote epidemic? Because I know that a misdiagnosis via COVID 1984, when they tell you that the flu disappeared, was a real thing, or that pneumonia didn't exist. That's a real thing. So, food for thought. We're talking Gates, and I want to show this clip because Gates just can't get away from his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, whether or not he's doing Reddit AMAs or whether or not he's going on foreign television.
Now, one of the issues that's dogged you is that of your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you regret the relationship that you maintained with him against Melinda's advice and wishes?
Oh, I've said that you're going way back in time, but yeah,
New audience.
I will say for the, over 100 times. Yeah, I shouldn't have had dinners with him.
Epstein had a way of sexually compromising people. Is that what Melinda was warning you about?
No. I mean, no, I had dinner with him, and that's all.
And that you regret the relationship, the acquaintance?
That I had dinner with him.
Look at him look over to the side that I had dinner with him. It's just dinner. We only, here, let's go back to that one. We're going to have to, it's just dinner. Look at him look to the side. Yeah, no, I regret I had dinner with him.
That you regret the relationship, the acquaintance?
That I had dinner with him.
Both sides. Right, then left. Right, then left.
And the relationship between the foundation and Epstein, which
there never was any relationship of any kind.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That makes us have to go for a rewind. You know we got to go for a rewind. Here we go. Oh, did I not want to start up?
Was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
So, again, all of them are whitewashing the idea that they had a relationship pre-2000 in business prior to this meetings for his foundation, etc., or meetings for global health, all that. All that still gets whitewashed. But you know, Gates, he's not happy that he's being asked these questions constantly.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years.
No, not several. No. Oh, it seems maybe a couple of decades. Forget about several years. Seems like a couple of decades. Just want to point that, or at least a decade plus relationship.
And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, and I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Dinners and nothing new. I regret it.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else?
Look at that. I mean, that's like literally cartoon level, a cartoon level grimace of unhappy. When somebody who thinks like they're the man, that they're like hyper God level, untouchable, making decisions, that a commoner dare ask these questions. And look, his response here is the most telling of all. It really is.
Looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so...
You notice that was his most, like, off-the-cuff, right-away response. Oh, well, he's dead, so yeah, like, hey, yeah, look what happened to him. He's a dead guy.
In general, you always have to be careful.
And there's the smirkle. You better be careful, because guys like Epstein end up dead. Old, and went from grimace to smirkle.
I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy, very proud of the work of the foundation.
Philanthropy and the foundation. Well, he's dead.
For you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so... in general, you always have to be careful. I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy, very proud of the work of the foundation.
I mean, this guy's proud to curb overpopulation and try to take you to a net zero world. He's proud of that. Whoa. We better cut it off there. There's another 20 plus minutes that you missed in that video including some big cloonage, CIA, NSA operation, you know what. So go on over to Rockfin or Rumble and check it out, or just check out all of the uncensored second hours that have been released, every single one except for the past 2 weeks, over at redvoicemedia.com. And consider spending that $10 a month at redvoicemedia.com/Jason or redvoicemedia.com/uncensored.